Thank you, sir.
Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Varuna.
Yes, sir.
You did your BA LLB in 2018.
So, yes, sir.
Okay. Have you registered yourself as a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Where?
And Bar Council of Delhi, sir.
Bar Association Delhi?
Yes, sir.
And your father is a chartered accountant?
Yes, sir.
Mother?
Mother owns an industry, sir. A small scale industry for automobile parts.
Automobile parts.
Yes,
Where?
sir. In Rudapur itself, my hometown.
Rudapur industrial area, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why civil service? They are all set.
So my primary reason for joining civil services is because of the dynamism and diversity which is associated with this job, which provides immense scope to do productive contribution to society.
Then why did you choose law?
Sir,
Law is not a stepping stone to civil services. You could have done political science, you could have done history, and you had very good marks in 12th, 95.4. You could have chosen any course and you would have got it.
sir, during my 12th, I had already decided I wanted to join civil services, and hence I chose law as my graduation subject because I found that having a legal background and having good knowledge of law would help me once I joined civil services.
How is that?
So because as a part of civil services, I would be dealing with law and legal issues on a daily basis. So I found that having a good theoretical base on the same would provide me helpful.
How can you say that?
So every work which I do as a part of civil servant would be dealing with legal basis on some or other level, whether it's civil law or whether it's about public order or
Is it related to law?
no, sir, it is related to many
Every
other
society revolves around law.
No, sir, it's related to many other things. But I chose law as because it would help me have some additional value when I become a part of civil services.
Okay. So, if I say that law of torts, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Law of torts is not that developed in our country, like in the USA, compared to the USA. Will you agree with me?
So I would beg to differ on it a bit because it was not developed at a prior stage when we still used to follow mostly on the basis of common law precedents, but over a period of time, through Supreme Court and High Court judgments, law of tort has developed in India also.
And when is a contract complete? When?
So a contract is complete when both the parties of the agreement sign it and the contract follows the essentials as provided under Indian Contract Act, which is under Section 10.
So, when a party proposes and the other party accepts,
Yes, sir.
then the contract is complete.
Yes, sir, provided that it follows the other legal precedents.
You studied constitutional law, criminal law, international law.
Yes, sir.
Can you recollect there is an incident in the 𝐀𝐻 of Kerala
Yes, sir.
which involved some international law issues?
Yes, sir. If I'm not wrong, you're referring to Italian Marine's case, where certain fishermen of India were shooted at by Italian Marine, and which resulted in casualty. And then thereafter, a trial happened in India. But now, at present, this trial has shifted to the International Tribunal for the Law of Seas, and we're still awaiting the judgment of the same.
So, what is the international law provision that they took advantage?
So under the conventional law of seas, it is provided that two things. Firstly, that only in case of piracy or certain violation of international law can a military ship or even a civilian ship take an action against someone else. Secondly, in the case of India, India applied this convention also to seek the jurisdiction of the Italian Marines and jurisdiction to try them in India, saying that since the casualty was of Indian citizens, hence Italian
And it
Marines.
was not a case of piracy.
No, sir.
Yeah.
That's why the case should be tried in India, and thereafter it went to the Supreme Court also.
Recently, Supreme Court passed a judgment for regarding women's participation in defense services.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what it is?
Yes, sir. Sir, the women were a petition was filed by women officers in the Supreme Court in order to provide the women officers the right to have permanent commission in the army, and thereafter Supreme Court held that since it's also there in government's policy that permanent commission should be provided in 10 fields, so government should follow that and army should provide permanent commission to women.
And just 2-3 days afterwards, there was a statement by a senior army officer saying that permanent commission is okay, but women should not be given combatant roles. Do you agree?
So considering that we have progressed to a higher level and we need to consider international scenarios also and see that whether we need to shed our previous made descriptions regarding the same, and we need to progress, and maybe on some future date once we do it on a pilot basis, we'll be in a situation where in future women would be able to be part
What is
of
your
it.
opinion? Do you agree with this point or not?
So I think women can be made a part of a combatant force also over a period of time.
You are from Uttarakhand.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the capital of Uttarakhand is in the wrong place?
So considering the issue between the capital of Uttarakhand at present and the anticipated capital at 𝐀𝐝𝐦𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐻, my personal opinion would be that I agree with the Dixit Commission report that Dehradun suits Uttarakhand as a capital place because of the economic and financial perspective. However, we need to focus more on hill development so that the issue of capital shifting to 𝐀𝐝𝐻 is tackled in the most reasonable manner.
Now there is another option available. Andhra is going in for 3 capitals.
Yes, sir.
One legislative, one executive, one judiciary.
Right, sir.
Uttarakhand can try that, no?
So the feasibility of having 3 capitals still to be seen.
At
At
least
present,
2.
doubts are being seen because of the logistical finalities of the 3 capital bases. So till the time that happens, I think a hasty step for the 3 capital for Uttarakhand would be premature, and we need to still wait and see.
After creation of Uttarakhand as a separate state, carved out of UP, has the quality of governance improved? Is the development faster? Is the law and order better? I want to know your views.
So if we see the development on and governance in Uttarakhand after the separation from Uttar Pradesh, we can see following parameters. Firstly, the parameters of the growth rate of Uttarakhand, which is comparatively higher than Uttar Pradesh and also comparatively higher to what it was in the past before separation. Secondly, regarding law and order, as you mentioned, there have been issues with law and order, especially when we see it in the light of the recent report by the NCRB, where it says that there is rising crimes in Uttarakhand. So that is one issue which is still in hindrance. Thirdly, regarding development, while Uttarakhand has developed on a higher rate and has been able to achieve economic as well as social indicators, there is still one issue regarding hill development. It is still not resolved. It was an issue even before the separation from Uttar Pradesh, and it is still an issue persisting. So that is something that we need to still work upon.
My last question. The Indian Evidence Act,
Yes, sir.
is that of 1861?
Oh, sir, 1872 if I'm not wrong. But maybe I'll have to recheck it.
Okay. So the main point is Isn't it too antiquated now? Should we look into afresh? It was drafted during the British Raj or beginning of this thing, and we are still continuing. We are realizing in many cases that the Evidence Act is wanting.
So certain basic principles of the Evidence Act still stand. Over a period of time, with the development of technology and other incidents, there have been suitable amendments made. For example, when it was a case of admission of electronic evidence, Section 66 was added to Evidence Act. So over a period of time, we have amended it suitably in order to suit the contemporary needs.
As you heard that justice is delayed, justice is denied. There is another term called justice is hurried, justice is denied. What do you have to say about keeping this thing in mind in the present scenario of seeing the present condition of the cases pending in judicial?
So I would agree to the fact that there have been unreasonable delays in various cases in the judicial system, which has caused numerous worries to the common man, and hence that is one area where we need to work upon. However, while working upon that area, we need to make sure that we are not bypassing proper procedures, proper due process of law, so that we do not come to a stage where rights of people are violated. So I agree that there have been delays in the judicial system, but we need to work upon them reasonably so that we do not result in any violation of the rights of people.
So we should also need to draw a line wherein we can reach to that level and can say now we are at par.
Right, sir. So for judiciary, it's
do you have any unique idea or solution to this?
So certain ideas are already being in the state of implementation. For example, filling up of vacancies at both lower and higher judiciary level, which would help in bringing down the pendency of cases and also free up the time of the judges in order to hear the cases as fast as possible. Secondly, there have been also guidelines and framework put in picture where we do not seek delays in provision of a proper judgment. So for a trial court, we have a proper time guideline. That is one thing which is in picture. So I think we need to more focus on execution of these frameworks.
Fine.
That can be
You are doing yoga.
Yes,
You know Baba.
yes, sir.
Now, all of a sudden, it is seen that a sudden change in people from one therapy or medicine to another. They are moving to Ayurveda. Is it right?
Sir,
Or somehow immunity and resistance is not affected?
so movement from one therapy to another has to be on the basis of actual reasonable grounds whether that therapy works. With increasing awareness and increasing knowledge about the various kinds of therapy, it is more natural of people to seek something which suits their body the best. As we also know that every body has a unique mechanism of working. So that's why people are trying to go through different therapies and try to find out which suits them the best. However, any hasty change in the particular therapy to another can also be harmful, hence any decision regarding the same should be taken in consideration with all the professionals in the field, and then only one should move towards a particular therapy, especially when it's regarding to curing of serious diseases and illness.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Varuna, you love reading books, like reading books. What type of books do you read?
So I read both non-fiction and fiction. However, I have a personal preference to a fiction reading.
Which fiction book you have read recently?
So recently I finished a book by Anne Grant, which is The Atlas Shrugged.
You know about public service broadcaster? Which body is a public service broadcaster for our country? National broadcaster, you can say. Prasar Bharati is there.
Prasar Bharati, right.
And it's, under its umbrella, both All India Radio and Doordarshan.
Yes.
So since it is a body financed by Government of India, budget is given partly. So the allegations are that they are not autonomous in real sense, and they are mouthpiece of government. Do you agree?
So Prasar Bharati, through its various arms, have been able to provide sufficient news and information regarding the functioning of government in a transparent manner. Hence, the only allegation based of their non-autonomous nature, based upon the financial dependence over government, would be a bit excessive. Hence, we need to also look upon the working of the same and whether the report has been transparent, reasonable, and also excessive in nature. They have given detailed reports regarding every topic, whichever is functioning national or international level. So while I agree that they are financially dependent upon the government, but through their working and through their work, they have proven that they are sufficiently independent in putting forward their views.
Okay. Coming to social media,
Yes, sir.
both pros and cons are there, and people talk of online censorship.
Yes.
What do you feel about it?
So social media has been playing a very important role in almost every single field. So there is obvious cry regarding regulation of the same. In fact, recently also the Indian Association for Mobile and Internet have came up with a self-regulation. So we need to still wait and see how the self-regulation pyramid works. And if there feels that there is a need where a regulation from a government point of view needs to come into picture, then maybe a step towards that can be taken.
Okay. And we abolished jury system in India. You know the background why it was abolished?
Yes, sir. It was regarding a case of 𝐀𝐝𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐢𝐸 versus State of Maharashtra, after which the jury system was abolished. In the case, jury held the particular accused as not guilty, and thereafter it went on appeals. However, after that, it was felt that jury can be easily swayed by media and other such public discourse.
So you really feel, sorry for interrupting, you really feel that we are not mature, our system is not mature to adopt a jury system?
So it will be regarding the fact that especially in the present age where there is more social media and more discourse of information, a better alternative that we adopted regarding the particular adversarial system is best for India, I feel. That is the best opinion regarding to me.
No, there is a best system that we are working.
At present, because of especially the increase of the social media and public discourse, also the increase of fake news which has been prevalent. So it's better to have judiciary, which especially the judges who are well versed with the laws and legalities of the issue.
But media, as far as media is concerned, we often talk of media trial.
Right.
People accused is in the court, and the media, they're already either declaring him convicted or so.
Media trial.
Media trial is there, already there.
Sir, no matter how many media trials are there, ultimately the conviction or guilt of an accused decided in the court of law. And there are also guidelines in the Contempt of Courts Act where it has been provided that once a charge sheet is filed and the case comes into the sub judice of the court, there should not be any trial in the outside scenario, because ultimately the guilt of the accused will be decided by the court of law.
Okay. The final question.
Yes, sir.
Are you in favor of death penalty or against it? And please don't give me that law commission's advice. It is your opinion. What is your opinion?
Yes, sir. I'm not in favor of death penalty. I believe that it is a feature of retributive justice, and as a progressive society, we need to move forward towards reformative justice. And death penalty, with all its pros and cons at present, does not suit our progressive mindset.
So what can be the deterrent for the society if not death penalty?
So death penalty has not even been proven to be a deterrent to the society because of the no impact of it in the
We do it
crime
in the
scenario.
rarest of rare cases. Not very often. We keep on doing it very fast. Then people will be automatically stop doing such crimes.
So more than death penalty, as working as a deterrent, the certainty of the law and the certainty of the execution
So
of the
what
law is more
mechanism do
important.
you think we should adopt?
Mechanism which does not leads into delayed justice, mechanism which has good investigation scenario where we have clear guidelines in law and our police officers as well as judicial system both is trained in a manner that investigation completes on time, further the trial completes on time, and the execution of the verdict of the trial also happens on time. That would be a better deterrent in order to stop any criminal activities in the society.
Thank you, Varuna.
Varuna,
Yes, sir.
you have an excellent law degree. You tell me, what leadership qualities do you have?
So during my college days, I was a part of an association where I worked both as a member and as a leader. So during that tenure, I found myself to be good in conflict resolution and management. I have emotional intelligence which enables me to be good in conflict resolution. I also am able to provide good persuasive values where I am able to convince my team towards a particular work. I'm dedicated, I'm confident, and also I'm able to make my team move forward to a particular direction by taking a multi-dimensional point of view in a particular issue.
Okay. So, you tell me which one leadership quality you don't have and you feel that you should have if you were to be a successful district magistrate of Udaipur.
So there is one quality which I am working upon to imbibe and have not yet succeeded fully, which is the quality of being socially amicable. I'm an introvert person, so that at times in the public discourse it serves as a hindrance to me when I'm too able to talk to different team members, and also especially when I'm to talk to intersectoral basis. Apart from my team, when I have to interact with public and interact with other teams in a particular scenario, so I think my introvert nature seems an hindrance.
You tell me, you have now enrolled. Do you have any idea about what is the gender inequality in the judiciary? Tell us something about it. What is the position in the Supreme Court? What is the position in the High Court? And what it is in the lower court?
So I would not be able to give exact figures, but I would be able to give a general point of view where I would say that inequality exists on both gender as well as social inequality, where there are less number of women both in lawyers as well as judiciary system. Secondly, when we see the status of scheduled caste or scheduled tribe or backward classes in judiciary, there are less representation of the same in judiciary. That is one inequality which we see.
Where is this gender inequality worse? At the higher level or at the subordinate level?
So at the both levels, however, it is more prevalent in the higher level because it's very difficult for women to directly reach the higher level of Supreme Court as well as High Court. So it is mainly seen at the higher level, but it is also prevalent at the lower level.
Do you have any idea how many Supreme Court judges, women judges we have had?
Right now, sir, or in the past?
Since its inception.
So I would not be aware about the figure exactly. I'm not able to recall.
8.
So,
And in the High Court presently, how many?
again, sir, I'm not able to recall the figure. I'll have to update my knowledge on the same.
It is less than 10%. Okay. So, you tell me, you have some idea about India-China relationship?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I were to give you one definition that India-China relationship is characterized by competition, cooperation, and conflict.
And conflicts.
And conflict. Give one example of each.
So the field of competition, we both want to develop a manufacturing base. So we have a competition make in India versus make in China. In the field of cooperation, we have cooperated on various issues on the international platform, whether it be the development of UNCTAD or G77. So we have cooperated on that level. The conflict is mainly regarding the border management, which we recently also see in the Doklam crisis, and thereafter also in northern or eastern or western sector, we have conflicts in the border resolution.
Whose border are we protecting in Doklam?
So Doklam was an issue where we came into picture because for Bhutan, because of the agreement that we have with Bhutan, that in case of any external conflict, we will.
Thank you very much.